After the success of their first film, the Muppets return in Muppets Most Wanted. A movie that literally takes place directly after the first one. Yeah, you see them waving and saying goodbye, and then suddenly they're just jumping right into the sequel. I love movies like that. If you wanted, you could just edit them together as one big film. That takes a very strange detour halfway through. It's still funny. The Muppets are back at the Muppet Studio, but it looks like trouble is a brewing. As an evil criminal who happens to look exactly like Kermit breaks in, switches them up, and now he's confused for Kermit while the real Kermit is thrown in jail. Yeah, they're doing that cheesy story. And again, even the Muppets acknowledge they're doing that cheesy story. Walter and a few others start to catch on, and they try to figure out what's the best way to stop this criminal mastermind, while also getting Kermit back safely, while also convincing everybody that this guy is not the real Kermit. Standard? Oh yeah. But funny? Incredibly. Where I felt the last Muppet film was very much trying to be similar to the first Muppet movie, this one is definitely trying to be like the second Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper. Some people didn't really like that because they liked the emotion of the last film, and in this one, it's not really there. But it's not supposed to be there. This one is just returning to the straight-on jokes and clever writing, catchy song numbers and goofy sequences, and they all work. Honestly, my favorite Muppet film out of all of them is The Great Muppet Caper. Even though I love the emotion of the other ones, I just thought the comedy and the creativity of that one were so great. It was just so spontaneous and odd, but also so entertaining. This one, I felt the same way. Where the first one has some problems that we overlooked because the emotional moments were just so good, this one I think has a lot less. Most of the jokes hit bullseyes, and a lot of them you don't see coming, and a lot of them really do try serve a different humor while also staying to the traditional humor that the Muppets are so well known for. It's combining old cliches with new cliches. And there's still all those pointless celebrity cameos and all these weird song sequences that just come out of nowhere. The music and lyrics are incredibly clever. So I was kind of scratching my head why people weren't getting as into this one as they did with the first one. That is to say, I don't know anyone that hated the movie, but people were either on, I didn't think that much about it, or it was okay. The only thing I can gather is that the first film, while it did have more problems, took more risks. The emotional moments in the first one could have very easily bombed or been awkward or just didn't pay off, which would have caused people to not only dislike it, but really dislike it. But because they took that risk and it worked, a lot of people got a lot more emotional to it and they connected as something much bigger than the other Muppet movies. This one is a very standard Muppet movie. It's really nothing but jokes. Even the plot is kind of one big joke. For me, I don't mind. That's kind of like what the traditional Muppets were, but for others, they might be wanting something more. Hell, even in the opening song, they acknowledge that sequels are usually not as good as the first one. To me, that makes me laugh, but to others, it might be like they're kind of admitting that they know this one's not going to be that great. And that can put them in kind of a weird feeling throughout the rest of the film. For me, though, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I do admire the chances that the first film took more, but in terms of what made me laugh harder, that'd definitely be this one. So I guess it's kind of a pick your poison. If you're going for more of the mix of the emotional with the laughs, that's definitely the last film, but if you're just going for straight up comedy, this is definitely the one to check out. I loved it just as much as the other Muppet films, and I know I'm gonna see it a lot more times in the future.